Okay, we are live now. Just a minute. Okay, I'm just going to start the session. Hello students, welcome to the University College Dublin seminar with SIUK, Data Analytics or Data Science, which track is the right for me? We have Dr. Benjamin, Dr. Stefan, Robin Rona, who's currently studying MSc Politics and Data Science, and we have Abigail, who will be presenting and taking any questions that you may have. Could I please request everybody to please introduce themselves? Thank you.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Abigail Lawler. I work in UCD Global and I am helping with the presentation today to take you through some really important information. I'm going to also pass you over to my colleague, Dr. Elsner.
Hi everyone, my name is Ben Elsner. I'm a professor of economics at University College Dublin, and I am the program director of the MSc Economics and Data Analytics. I'm very happy to answer any of your questions and to introduce this program to you.
Hi, I'm Stefan Müller. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Politics and International Relations here at UCD, and I was one of the co-founders of the MSc Politics and Data Science back then in 2020. And I also look forward to presenting this program to you and answer any questions.
And my name is Robin Rauner. I'm currently studying in the Politics and Data Science program, and I'll talk a little bit more about my background and my experience and kind of what I expect out of my career going forward towards the end of the seminar today.
Thank you very much to all my colleagues for that wonderful introduction. So you're very welcome to the webinar today. We're presenting to you from Dublin, from University College Dublin, and I am going to talk you through how this session will go and when you will have some time for questions. So today we're going to talk about data analysis or data science, which is the correct track for you. And the way that this session will go today is that I will introduce the university first and talk you through how the session will go. And then I will also pass over to my academic colleagues. So I would ask everybody to mute themselves, and I'll ask our colleagues at SIUK to please assist me with this. Thank you. Okay, so you're very welcome today. UCD is Ireland's largest and most international university, established in 1854. Here you can see an image of our wonderful campus. We have one of the largest European campuses, an urban campus, and it's a really exciting place to be. UCD is Ireland's leader in graduate education, and we have a lot of different programs as well. So we have over 300, almost 300 programs, graduate programs, but today we're focusing specifically on the College of Social Sciences and Law with their School of Economics and School of Politics and International Relations. So the running order for today is that we're going to first of all begin with our academic speakers. They've already introduced themselves, and I will also remind you who they are and what their speciality is. We're going to look at the MSc Economics and Data Analytics, followed by the Politics and Data Science MSc or Graduate Diploma. Then we're going to speak with our student Robin, and then there'll be some time for questions and answers, along with next steps if you're interested in applying for either of these programs. So we are going to begin with the UCD School of Economics. So one moment, sorry, I'm switching around. So we are having Dr. Benjamin Elsner here, who's going to talk to us about the UCD School of Economics and the program in particular that he's going to discuss with you. So I am going to pass over to Dr. Elsner now, and I'll just bring up your slide, Ben. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining and for your interest. I'm very excited to present to you the program that's called MSc Economics and Data Analytics, which is a joint venture by our school, that is the School of Economics, and the School of Mathematics and Statistics here at UCD. Both schools, or in other places they would be called academic departments, are among the leading departments in their disciplines in Europe. And we've joined forces here to offer our students a very important skill set that offers lots of benefits for many careers out there. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the background of this program, and then what we offer, and how this all works, and why you might consider joining us. So we have, as the School of Economics, for many years been running very successful master's programs in economics. And master's programs in economics, they entail a variety of economics courses and quantitative courses. And when I say successful, what do I mean by that? It means that, first of all, the students who took the course were generally very satisfied with the level of teaching, supervision, mentoring that they received. But not only that, we have had great success in placing our students in industry, in the public sector, in academia. So there is a long tradition of graduate education in economics at UCD. At the same time, we are in constant talk with employers. We have some of the biggest firms, especially in the tech sector and consulting, right at our doorstep, and have very close linkages with them. And in talking to them, we realize that there are a lot of career tracks where the skill set that we teach in economics is valuable, but students need something more. They need to have more data skills than we as economists can teach. And so we reached out to our friends at the School of Mathematics and Statistics to set up this program. Now, what are these skills? If you could go to the next slide, please. So the skills that our colleagues bring to the table are such as machine learning, data programming, databases, Bayesian analysis. But not only that, we can tap into the vast network that we have and the large number of data-focused programs at UCD, one of which you will hear about later from Stefan, Politics and Data Science. But there are several departments offering these courses, which has a huge advantage because students can choose from a vast number of modules. So, for example, politics offers text analysis, which is extremely useful, or our Department of Geography offers GIS and spatial analysis, which is extremely useful for many applications these days. And so students who take this course, MSc Economics and Data Analytics, they, in the first term, all do the same program, which lays the foundations of economic analysis and of data analytics. And then later in the second term, they specialize, they can choose from a large variety of courses. Now, who is this program for? It's for students who either have a background in economics, business, finance, commerce, and such, or social sciences, and who want to learn more about data analytics / data science. Or it's also for students who have a background in quantitative subjects such as statistics, data science, quantitative social science, engineering, who want to sharpen their skills while learning also a good bit of economics. So these are the two broad groups of people who we want to attract into this program, and who we've attracted already. So we've launched the program last September with 14 students, an incoming cohort from 9 different countries, from pretty much all continents, and we're very excited about this. Now, if you could go to the next slide. Now, let me briefly pitch Dublin for you. Which is obviously known as a city where a lot of fun can be had, but that's probably not just the only reason why one would want to come here. But first of all, it is home. So UCD is one of the centers in Europe when it comes to combining social science and data science / data analytics. So we have a number of programs. We have many schools involved, many disciplines, many academics involved. So students will find whatever they want to do, they will find an expert who is a world-leading researcher and has lots of practical knowledge as well, who they can turn to. What we can also offer, and this is very strong industry linkages. We have the biggest tech firms, Google, LinkedIn, Meta, and so on, right at our doorstep. We do joint events with them, and some of our students, or actually a lot of our students, previously got jobs in such companies. So there is a very strong industry link. Also, and this is specific to our program, we offer students the option of either doing a thesis or doing an internship as the third block after doing 2 terms of teaching. And so it depends. If students are more academically minded, they may want to do a thesis under the supervision of 1 or 2 of our faculty members, or they can also do an internship. And we have industry partners who advertise internships with us and usually take in 2 or 3 of our students every year. So we have internships, we offer them in, tech firms, consulting, pharma, in public institutions like the central bank. So there's plenty of opportunities here. So if there are any questions from your side, feel free to either ask them later during the Q&A sessions or drop them in the chat, or obviously shoot me an email, and I'm very happy to answer them for you or jump on a Zoom call. So without further ado, I'd like to thank you all, and I'll hand over to Abigail and Stefan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elsner. That's really beneficial and really interesting to see the tech side of Dublin as well, and how that has impacted graduate employability and access to some opportunities in those areas. So that's a really interesting piece to reflect on. We're going to now, my slides are switching a little bit, so people know that, apologies for that, it keeps switching back and forth. But we are going to now pass on to the UCD School of Politics and International Relations on this very interesting programme that Dr. Muller is going to present to us. So we have Dr. Stefan Muller, and he's going to talk about politics and data science, both the MSc and the graduate diploma. So Dr. Muller, thank you very much for joining us today, and here is your first slide.
Yeah, so thanks again for participating today. Maybe we can actually go back to the previous slide, because I talk again a little bit about the MSc in general before I go into the details. So the MSc Politics and Data Science was initiated in 2020, and to the best of our knowledge, we were the first university in Europe that offered a degree in politics and data science. So we have quite a lot of experience already, and we have quite a lot of graduates as well. So I can talk about the actual outcomes and job opportunities that you have after completing this degree. In this degree, we focus on data science, and in particular, the cutting edge methods, skills, and issues as well: generative AI, large language models, machine learning, quantitative text analysis, image analysis, and so on and so forth. And also the ethical implications of those methods, because it's not only important to apply them, but it's also very important, or at least as important, to know about the weaknesses and about the issues that might come with these methods. And you will use these methods to study substantively relevant questions in the social sciences and political science. And you will do that in several ways. And that's what I show you on the next slide. It's a bit similar to the program that Ben introduced. We have 2 separate explicit streams, and which stream you belong to, or what you will fall into, depends on your undergraduate degree. If you have an undergraduate degree in the social sciences or arts, very broadly defined, you might not have that much background knowledge on statistics, statistical programming, and so on and so forth. So if that's the case, in your first semester and the second semester, you will have modules on statistics in R, which is one of the most popular programming languages, completely open source, very widely used in academia and industry, and also on programming in Python. which is, I believe, at the moment the most popular programming language, and all the cutting-edge methods tend to be introduced in Python. These modules are also offered in our school, which is good because then they prepare you for the politics degrees as well, and they are targeted towards those students with a social science background. If you have a more technical degree, STEM, computer science, for example, you will have more modules that are about political science or social sciences. One example is a module on the politics of misinformation, where you will learn how to design survey experiments, other experimental methods, where you will use generative AI to explore dynamics of misinformation. And this module is one of the examples where group work is essential. So you will work in small groups to study these questions. So that's basically your first term. And then in your second term, you have a lot of optional modules to choose from. And they can be, again, both political science, social science more generally, or they can also be from different schools, same as Ben has described. So we have quite a lot of students who take modules in the School of Computer Science, Informational Communication Studies, Economics, or Sociology. So, for example, one very popular optional module is quantitative text analysis, which has been completely revamped this year. And you will learn how to use large language models, how to fine-tune your classifier, how to use generative AI. Other modules are, and you have a variety of at least 30 additional modules to choose from, but popular ones are international political economy, peace and conflict studies, European governance, and so on and so forth. Then in the MSc, we have one module which is called Connected Politics. This is not only connected to our so-called Connected Politics Lab, which is a group of researchers working. Sorry, someone is not. Thanks. A group of researchers working on computational methods. I talk about this module in a second a bit more. But what I also want to emphasize, and maybe that's also something Robin can talk about, is that we offer many additional workshops. For instance, this term we had workshops on web scraping using R, on version control, GitHub. Next term we will have workshops on Bayesian analysis for beginners, on data visualization, on presentation skills. And then you finish with a dissertation. And we experienced that writing a master's dissertation is actually very good for your job opportunities, because you can use the topic that you studied in your dissertation to make yourself attractive to employers, because you can say, I worked on this topic for 3 or 4 months under close supervision, and this is what I found, and these are the methods that I've used. Let's go to the to the next slide. Where I just show some of the research projects, some of the group projects that have been conducted in this Connected Politics module. So you will be allocated into groups of 2, 3, or 4 students and write your own full-fledged research paper. Here are some selected group projects. One group, for instance, used an image recognition system to classify and understand emotional expressions of politicians on social media, and how different emotional expressions might correlate with the likes and retweets that a tweet received, or how this differs across politicians, gender effects, how it differs across ideological positions. Another project was on sentiment expressed by militant groups, amongst other Hamas, in their press releases. And this paper, this research project, was one of the outstanding ones, and the students, so the students themselves got accepted to the annual conference of the American Political Science Association, traveled to Los Angeles this year and presented this project. So it just shows what you will learn within 1 year, and none of the students in this involved in this project had a background in data science before. Another project, for example, is on speech complexity using computational methods. So how easy or difficult is it to understand a speech? How readable is it? And how this changed after the Irish Parliament introduced cameras. So after every single speech has been live streamed and has been available. The last project is on experts in deliberative assemblies. You might have heard of deliberative assemblies, which are basically a group of citizens coming together and discussing certain policy topics and then making recommendations to policymakers. And that group studied how expert testimonials in these assemblies correlated with subsequent Q&A sessions. And this paper was published in a peer-reviewed journal last year. So we have a blog where we present most of the projects that have been conducted in the past, so you can take a look. So last but not least, what are the outcomes of this degree? And that's what I have on the last slide. So you will, after 1 year, be equipped to use Python, to use R, machine learning, text analysis, and now this year also generative AI, large language models. And very important, and that's a unique skill, is that you will be able to address social science research questions using big data. And we see that the master's thesis our graduates produce are outstanding, frequently win prizes, and sometimes are published as well. So one thesis was recently published in the Journal of European Public Policy, which is one of the probably top 10 political science journals. So it just shows the quality. And you will be able to assess those limits and ethical issues. Now, important question, what can you do with it afterwards? Apart from what Ben has already mentioned, Google, Facebook, Meta, other big tech companies based in Dublin, I provide here a few examples of employment opportunities or jobs that recent graduates actually got. So one example is consulting, KPMG. Then there's also consulting for insurances. One of our recent graduates is working at FBG Insurances in Dublin. Financial services is actually very important. Two of our graduates work in a company called Hatched Analytics, which provides forecasts on the stock market. But we also have jobs that or students got jobs that you might not have thought about before. So for instance, one student now is working in the cloud and data operation team of Zurich Airport. Other students are working in public opinion, Red C, which is, I believe, the largest public opinion institute, and also in research. So one recent graduate, for example, now works at the Central Bank of Ireland. And we also place our students in excellent PhD programs, if that's something you're interested in, both in UCD, but also abroad. So one of our recent graduates now is a PhD student at Northeastern University. Thank you very much. That's it from me so far. And I'm also happy to answer questions later on. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muller. That was very interesting and really interesting piece around connecting your dissertation to your future employment, which is something that is, sometimes students don't think about. So I think that's really, really important piece. And working with others as well, extremely important to demonstrate to future employers. So those group projects and the achievements that the students made was really, really interesting, along with looking at how students from different backgrounds can also, enter the program in different streams. So I think that's a really interesting as well aspect of the program. So thank you very, very much. We're going to now speak to Robin. One moment, I'm going to change the slide. So Robin, I let you introduce yourself, and I have a few questions for you, and you can let us know, your background first, and then we'll do a little interview with you.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so I'm from the United States originally, although I did my undergrad in international relations. So I'm from the stream that has been now studying statistics, next semester Python. And I actually worked a little while as well while I was in Japan doing my undergrad. So after that, worked for a few years. So I've got a work experience that's not necessarily in data analytics. I did a bit in retail, tourism, translation, but I am hoping to transition more to some role that I can use these very interesting and really, to me, very exciting data analytics skills that I'm learning this year.
Mm-hmm. So you're not traditionally from this background, which is really interesting in terms of taking on this master's. And what attracted you to this program specifically?
Great. Yep. So something that I learned doing the various jobs after I graduated from my undergrad is that I really enjoyed putting together reports for well, since not a lot of people do enjoy that part of work, I like to look at the data that I had available to me, combine them into spreadsheets, and then answering questions with that. And I had a very basic skill set, just really basic use of Excel. And so I thought it was exciting to figure out what more I could do, learning R, Python. The last programming class I took was 10 years ago with JavaScript. So I had a little bit of a background in programming, so I knew I could do it. But I'm very excited to learn more. And it has actually been, it looks intimidating at first to use programs like R, but it is a lot of, once you get the patterns and kind of copy paste, kind of figuring out what you need to adjust to get the outputs. And then most importantly, being able to interpret the outputs, which is what my statistics course is focused on, is making sure that we know what the numbers are telling us and the limitations of the methods that we're using.
Brilliant. So I suppose it was daunting a little bit to change course, but I suppose that with practice and with dedication to those programming, those areas, you're able to kind of see your progress, I suppose, at this stage. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. And there's also support as well. So
brilliant. And I suppose thinking about your future career aspirations, how has this program impacted that? Had you an idea before you started the program what you wanted to do, and now you're in it a while? Have you changed, or are you in the same kind of career track?
So for me, it started off not so much with a specific job in mind, but specific skills that I thought would really round out my education. My undergrad was very qualitative. I did interviews and literature review more as part of my research there, which was really interesting. But I thought I was lacking, especially in this day and age when we do have these very exciting tools and, all the buzz about AI now. And most people just kind of understand it as buzzword and not really how to apply it. And that was me. So I thought, just to at least round out my skill set, my education, this program was perfect because I don't have to have necessarily a quantitative background, but then I can gain them in the year, apply them. And so far I've been able to work in small groups even this semester, looking forward to next semester as well. I think for employers, one of the biggest things they want from you is to know you can work with others well.
For sure.
Not just being an expert in a certain skill.
Yeah, it's a really important piece. And I suppose there was talk around the exciting projects taking place. Do you want to talk about any of that group work that you're doing at the moment?
So right now it's more on the research design side and experiment design. This is new to me. So it's been fun to look at kind of what you can do and how would you apply. It's tricky, and kind of working that with other students with maybe more of a maths background. They can look into the statistical modeling more than you can. So it's great to be able to collaborate. I think for me personally, public opinion is an area of interest. So I'll be spending the break really digging into what I'd like to do for my thesis to start on that next semester.
Brilliant. That's really interesting. And it's good to learn from others as well. If you are in project groups with people that have a different background, I think that's a really rich learning experience as well. So thank you so much, Robin. And thank you to both academics as well for joining us today. I am just going to, we'll have some Q&A at the end. Sorry, my slides are not working here, but what we'll do is I'm going to stop sharing at the moment. So we'd allow some Q&A, but also my colleagues at SIUK can share our email address and website as well for you to get in touch with us. So in terms of next steps, you would be if you're looking to apply to these programs, we do have an online application available through our website. So there's two things on our website that you can look out for. It's the Inquire Now and Apply Now. So our applications opened on the 1st of October, and they are open on a rolling basis for the next few months. And I suppose it's really important to look through the entry requirements when you're applying and making sure you have the minimum English language requirements and also your undergraduate degree in the discipline and also in an honours 2.1. So it's important, that step, to check the entry requirements, to check your suitability for the programme. And you can start your application as soon as possible and then go along with providing your references and your transcripts and so on. And you can also go back to your application. So once you open it, you can go back, and the schools and UCD Global are here to guide you along that application process at every step of the way. At the end, if you are successful, you accept your offer, and then UCD Global throughout the summertime will have a series of webinars to really kickstart your UCD journey. And that will be with our careers office, with our student community office and others, and also our residences around accommodation provision as well. And then the journey to register is that UCD Global do have an orientation, and then if you go into your master's program, you'll have a specific school level and college level orientation. So really the next steps are to apply and also to inquire. And if you need to inquire, our colleagues in SI UK will follow up with you on the direct email address and also the website. So we were happy in UCD Global to do video calls with you to talk through your options and talk through your suitability for the programs. And if needed, we can also connect you with the professors and in the schools or the colleges to really help you decide if this is the right program for you, and how you can really start at an elevated pace as well, so that you're really ready when you start your masters to get going. Okay, I'm going to pass over to my colleague Shagun, who Shagun, do you want to see if this Q&A?
Yes, actually we do have a few questions coming in through. So I'm just going to be directly asking you all. So if anybody wants to answer the question, please feel to do so. So the first question is, how is the university's library and online resources for data science research?
I can answer that if you want. So the university library recently got completely revamped and renovated, and it's very, very nice now. Much nicer than when I joined 4 years ago. So don't worry about that. We also have access to basically all relevant journals. So you will be able to access the literature. You have access to books as well if UCD doesn't have a book, which is relatively unlikely. At least the relevant books that you need, you can also, I think, borrow them from other universities. That should be possible. And for the data science infrastructures, we recently started using the high performance computing infrastructure from UCD as well. So actually a lot of these methods that you will apply are very efficiently programmed now. So they should run on or most of them should run on your laptop, which is great actually. So you are not dependent on external resources or servers. But some of the methods, especially when it comes to classification, require more computing power. And we now figure out how to use the high performance infrastructure. You can apply for access, and then you could run your models on UCD's extremely powerful infrastructure, which opens up a lot of possibilities. But we always try to teach and teach the methods in such a way and show you those methods that you can run on your laptop or your just on your devices, so that you don't depend on on this infrastructure. But it is possible.
Thank you. The next question is a very generic question. How is Dublin as a student city?
Yeah, I should probably answer that one. So it's a very young city. I moved from Japan, and that was the biggest thing that surprised me, was how young it is here. It's easy to get around. I bike everywhere, actually. I don't live on campus. I live more centrally in town. So I'm really happy to be able to, every night of the week, there's live music you can go see if you're into that. There's loads of opportunities on campus to get involved. So I've joined the karate club. I've joined Women in STEM. I go to workshops. I try to take advantage of all of the events that are going on as much as I can, both on and off campus. So yeah, very nice, and overall very safe too.
Thank you so much. The next question is, what are the graduate opportunities available to students for data analytics? Okay,
I guess that's best if I answer that. in terms, so I assume this is about you know, the onward path in sort of, you know, going into the labor market, and so we have multiple opportunities here that we provide, and then there is obviously more broadly in Dublin lots of opportunities students can pursue. So what we provide here, and this goes, I assume, for the program Stefan introduced as well as mine, we have dedicated career skills modules where we bring in practitioners from outside who talk about their work, and where students can also afterwards chat with them about, you know, employment opportunities, get career advice, and so on. We also do joint events with all the data-focused programs. So, for example, in early February, we have a big event here with Google, where some social scientists who are now working at Google come to us and talk to our students. And again, we have afterwards a small reception where, you know, we have a glass of wine and we can just chat with them, and students can see, you know, what opportunities are there. Then that's obviously more specific to our program. We offer that students can take an internship, which obviously gives them a lot of opportunities to gain industry experience and get a foot in the door at a large company. And last but not least, there's obviously at UCD and more broadly, there are lots of events with some of the major and smaller companies, public institutions, NGOs, and so on, that students can go to and network. So because Dublin is a fairly small city, but it's such a global hub for tech, for pharma, for also public institutions, there are simply a lot of opportunities at your doorstep.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Can I just add one point? What we also try to do is connecting our alumni with our recent students. So we have a Slack. We have a Slack workspace, politics and data science, where all alumni and current students are invited to join. And this is actually very useful because some of our graduates now work in jobs or in companies that you might want to work for. And then they frequently share job opportunities, or you can just connect with them if you have any questions. And we also have within our school, we have a now active LinkedIn group for alumni. So we're trying our best to connect current students to our alumni, which is very beneficial for you.
Yeah, and I suppose on the institutional side, the UCD Careers Network does encourage students to begin thinking about their career, I suppose, quite early on, with fairs that begin in October and so on. And there's a lot of online modules, an online dedicated web space for all students, that they can access to review their CV, to do mock interviews, to do one-on-one meetings with the career service. And also, I suppose, you know, as Benjamin and Stefan have discussed, Dublin is a small city and a global tech hub. However, networking is very important in Dublin. And along with what the school offer in terms of connecting with alumni, the university also has an alumni mentoring program specifically for international students. So the opportunities to connect with people are really, really important in Dublin, and I suppose anywhere, to help you on your career journey.
Thank you, Abigail. The next question is, what are the entry requirements for data analytics?
So the entry requirements for data analytics are the standard requirements first and foremost from UCD. So that's having a sufficient level of English and having a degree that is at least equivalent to a 2-1 in Ireland. But UCD Global has lots of experience in how to assess degrees. So you don't need to worry that our system is very different. Our colleagues have seen degrees from pretty much every university on the planet and can assess this. In addition, what we require is that students have either an undergraduate in economics, finance, business, or another social science, so sociology, political science. If it's outside of that, so if it is in another social science or if it is in engineering, computer science, and so on, we would take a look at how many quantitative modules they have, just to be sure that students are able to go into a statistics course and they've had a master's level statistics course and they've had a statistics course before at the undergraduate level, such things. So these are not the most stringent criteria the world has ever seen. Most of the students who apply, they have a good idea of why they want to go into that course, and they've also previously taken modules. But obviously we do require some quantitative background for that course.
Maybe I can quickly jump in. So as I've said, social science background or like more technical degrees are both fine. And when we established the program back then, we also thought about, is that maybe too demanding for those who never worked with R or Python before? And we said, let's just try it out and see what's happening. And we noticed that even those who never worked with programming languages before, I had a statistics course, produced outstanding master's thesis. So some of the publications that I've mentioned didn't involve anyone who actually had prior knowledge of these methods before. So it is a demanding program, but you will learn a lot. I think the same is true for most master's programs. It's only 1 year. So it is a lot of work, but you will get a lot out of it. And you get even more out of it if you make use of all the additional offers, such as workshops, such as student society, such as events organized in town, which Robin mentioned as well. And one last thing about the entry requirements. If you're unsure, you can contact, UCD Global or just us. Yeah? So we are happy to meet you on Zoom and discuss your background and your questions. I remember that Robin contacted me before you started because you had some questions about the degree, and now she's here. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to answer your questions over email or arrange a quick Zoom call.
Thank you, Stefan. The next question is, what scholarships are available for both the courses?
So there are some scholarships available in UCD Global. There's a Global Excellence Scholarship and the Government of Ireland Scholarship. These are available on the Global website for you to check. And you do need to start your application and be accepted onto a program in order then to look for a scholarship. So we have a dedicated scholarships team in UCD Global to guide you through this process. And as you apply for your program, you can connect with the team in UCD Global to advise you on the scholarships available. And importantly, the scholarships that UCD Global administer are for non-EU students. So if there are any EU students on the call, the School of Politics and International Relations and the School of Economics might have some specific school level scholarships and college level scholarships for EU students and also awards. But you do have to apply, meet the entry requirements and be accepted onto the program first in terms of applying for those scholarships. So I don't know if the academics want to expand a little bit on that. Yeah, okay.
Then you can go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, so indeed, the main place to look for scholarships for most students probably is UCD Global. But I would like to add that also the School of Economics, we have a number of scholarships that come in the form of fee waivers or partial fee waivers. So we give every year merit-based mostly to students, regardless which background they come from. We give scholarships so that students either pay reduced fees or no fees. We can't unfortunately give this to everyone, but it's worth asking and it's worth indicating that with your application, and we're happy to help you with that.
Yeah, we have something similar as well. So we have the Master's Graduate Scholarship, which also, if you get it, you will actually have the opportunity to tutor modules or be a TA, which is also something very good for your CV. and introduces you to being on the other side of the classroom, basically. So if you do that, if you get that scholarship, you can, I think, apply for this up until June. Again, you need to be accepted first. And that automatically comes with a fee waiver for EU students and 50% fee waiver for non-EU students. And you can apply, and there is always demand for tutors. So I think your chances are fairly good that you could get one of these scholarships, which gives you more experience and you know, kind of like removes or reduces your student fees. And there are also often opportunities for research assistants, which then would be paid on an hourly basis. So I have several master students who have worked for me or who are still working for me and with me. And the nice thing about this is that it's quite flexible as well. So let's say you can work 1 day per week on a project, then we can facilitate that. There might be times when you can only work 3 hours because you have more assignments. Then that's also possible. So actively reach out to faculty members and ask whether they have any opportunities for research assistants, which is, again, a good skill and often possible. So don't be shy.
Thank you, Stefan. We have one last question from Nijo. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I am Nijo from Cameroon. I am a GIS and remote sensing officer. I'm no longer a student, and I would like to know is possibility to do capacity building in data analytics and using maybe research?
I assume from what I can read, it's using R, which is a programming language.
Sorry about that.
So it depends what is meant here by capacity building. I mean, we obviously we have structured our program such that R is the main programming language. The reason being that a lot of the statisticians with whom we work, R is their main statistical computing language. So while Python is very important for sort of the wide world of data science, and it's an important skill to have, absolutely no doubt, for the more data analytics side, currently R is super important. So we offer that in basically all our economics courses, as well as the statistics courses. And in addition, there are some other modules that are also based on R, such as the GIS module, and several others. So yeah, so we base our program mainly on that. If there are follow-up questions on that, I'm happy to go into detail, but that depends a bit on what exactly it is you'd like to know from me, and happy to answer that.
Yeah, maybe just what's important to note is that we have every year a few students who already have work experience, so who are more mature in that way, and then want to refresh their skills or develop their skills by doing the MSc Politics and Data Science or the degree offered in economics. So that's actually also an advantage, that it mixes students who are just coming out of their undergrad with students who already have more work experience. So again, I think here, just for the program you might be interested in, send an email to the program director. They're always listed on the website, and we're happy to help and answer your more detailed questions.
Hi, and just for all non-EU students, I'm veering off track a little bit, but I just wanted to emphasize as well that in terms of job opportunities, there is a graduate stay back visa available for Ireland, so you can stay back for 2 years as a master's graduate and work in Ireland. So that's a very good way to kickstart your career as well in Ireland.
Thank you. Students, if you have any other further questions, could I please request you all to unmute your mic or tap in the chat box below?
So I guess we've answered everything, or
Yeah, I think we
think
answered
so.
everything.
I think so. Yeah. Brilliant.
We'll wait for another 10 minutes and then we'll end the session.
Okay. So Shagun, do you want me to stay on for the extra 10 minutes or yeah? So will we all stay on?
Yeah. Preferably if any student has any question, we'll just answer them then.
Okay. Again, what I can do while we're waiting is I'm just going to share the screen on the UCD Global site for the Inquire now and apply now.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm just going to see if this will work. So 1 second. And then I'm just going to show the scholarship page as well. Okay, so I just wanted everybody to see the website. So I'm just going to check if you can see this properly. So this is our UCD Global website. Can you see this? Okay, so I just wanted to let all the attendees know in terms of next steps, ucd.ie/global. And then there is another page that I'd like to demonstrate to you, which is our graduate course listing page, which has direct links to apply and also has the entry requirements there as well. On the global page, there's some call to actions that are very good for you. So it's inquire and apply now. So when you go to inquire, it'll come to the specific global center that will deal with your query. So we have global centers throughout the world, in Beijing, Delhi, in Dubai, Kuala Lumpur, New York, and Chicago. So you can get bespoke clear information specific to your region through our global centres, and also they hold a lot of in-person events as well. You'll see on the right hand side that offer holders. So throughout the world as well, we hold offer holder events. So this helps you along your journey to registration. So once you get your offer within your specific regions where you're based, there will be UCD colleagues there hosting offer holder webinars. Some academics also attend these depending on the location, and you can also join them online. So they're really beneficial. You can learn about the student experience, and within this section of the website, you can get an idea of cost, because accommodation in Dublin can be slightly expensive at the moment due to supply and demand, along with knowing how to apply for on-campus accommodation, the cost of it, the cost of living in Ireland at the moment, so you're prepared properly for your time in Ireland. These are the areas of the website that are very interesting for you. You can get lots of information here, and there's bespoke information for you from whatever country you're applying from. You'll be connected to the closest global centre, which will give you, the right information that you need to apply. So as our academics spoke about entry requirements such as a 2-1 and so on, our global representatives can advise you specifically on what does that mean in your country, or how is that going to be assessed. Our global team also review applications and can help you on the application side. We have some nice videos there for you to look at and testimonials. And again, around taking the next steps, it's inquire or apply now. Okay, so the inquire is very, very important for you. And this is, we really have a very good customer care for our students. We get back to students as soon as we can, and we channel this to the proper representative. The other thing that I would like to show the students is the graduate course search. So this is an important site that I'm going to pull up in a second. And I am just going to bring it up for Stefan's program. So 1 moment. I'm just going to loading for me here. And I just want to show students how this is laid out in terms of entry requirements and apply now. Okay. So So I am going to bring this up. Okay, so we have a website in UCD called the Graduate Course Search. And when you search for your program, for example, the MSc Politics and Data Science, you can actually ask a question here or find out about open days and events, the duration of the program and so on. So you have an executive summary of the program here, you have the careers and employability, and then you have a video from is that you, Stefan? I think it is.
That's
Which is
me, yes.
fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. And I suppose what's interesting for students that are interested in applying, you look at the entry requirements. Okay, so this is a really, really important piece, and around your English language requirements and your previous degree and your overall award. At the very bottom, so we do have as well how to apply. And this is a great way of doing your apply now. So as I explained, it's an online application. So you just click on this link and it'll bring you straight to the apply now button. So I will work with SI UK to make sure that as graduate students, as prospective graduate students, you have access to this graduate course search as well, the direct link, and you can search for your programs that way. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Abigail.
Yeah. Is there anything
That was quite informative.
Okay.
I think we don't have any other further questions, so we'll conclude the session. Thank you, everybody, for joining this session. Thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Stefan. And thank you, Robin, for answering all the questions. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so
Great,
much.
thanks.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Everybody.
Thanks, Robin, as
Bye.
well. Bye-bye. See you all.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Robin. Thanks. Thanks, Jagoon. Was that okay? Oh, sorry, there's still